It is 12 noon. Welcome back in. This is Three-Man Front on Jocks. Pat and Landrum, we're live today. Social Taco. Conrad Molly back in the studios high atop Red Mountain. Appreciate you tuning in on this National Taco Day.
Look at this group up here.
It is crazy.
Yes.
Larry from Homewood, he's holding court.
Yeah.
You got FSU Dave coming off his horrible loss against Miami. He's already like 10 beers in.
Yeah.
He was downstairs when we got here at 10. And he's just been drowning his sorrows after that despicable loss to Miami. So
Got Travis hanging out.
Yeah.
I just gave FSU Dave a little miniature chop, and he just took another swig of beer.
Yeah,
and shrugged his shoulders.
Yeah, he's drowning his sorrows of the Seminoles.
I was trying to explain to my wife when Osceola came out on Renegade the other night. Didn't he tell us something about there's only one particular game where Osceola dismounts after throwing the spear? Isn't there something like that?
Yeah, it's. I think it's about declaring war.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, the only game in which he does that is the Florida game.
All right. Yep.
Is that right?
I told her I thought it was the Florida game.
He just hosted his beer up towards us.
Yeah. So the Florida game.
Yeah, Florida game. It means war.
Well, see, that one's more interesting now when I think about that game.
Yes.
Not because of that, but just given what we saw last week.
Yes. He's shaking his head. Yep. Florida. Florida, he gets off the horse.
Florida gets off the horse.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the deal. Yeah. So we're just talking to Scott Hamilton about the possible future of Bill Belichick. And this just came out. North Carolina's season-long documentary with Hulu is no longer happening. Sources close to the program have told Inside Carolina's website. That's the On3 site. Imagine that. Why Hulu would cancel a season-long documentary on the North Carolina football team. And remember, they wanted Hard Knocks.
Yeah. If they went through with it and they put it out there, I would watch it.
So
I would watch Bill Belichick week to week going, 1-11, 0-12.
And give money to Jordan for the concession stand each week?
Yep.
So North Carolina originally planned to take part in this docuseries with Hulu to provide behind-the-scenes insight on the journey of the program through Bill Belichick's first season with the team. Belichick announced the plan to the team in August, and the team shared that announcement on social media. But apparently now, according to Inside Carolina, the On3 site, it's not happening. No more.
You got guys hitting the portal now.
This will eventually – it has to end up on YouTube or something. If somebody has – there is video, right, because they've been working on it. So there is some part of this documentary that's already been completed, I imagine. Somebody has to leak it online. I mean, it would be – it would go so
Hudson
viral.
single-handedly destroyed North Carolina football.
So North Carolina 2-3 through 5 games. They have been outscored by power conference opponents 120 to 33. You've been almost outscored by 100 points by your Power 4 opponents.
Dang.
Yeah. And listen, I don't mean I'm talking pure football. But when Conrad, back me up here, you remember, and sorry, but, if you're going to put all your eggs in the basket of Gio Lopez that was going to be your starting quarterback at North Carolina, I knew this thing was going to fail.
Well, and you knew that – yeah, I think the writing was on the wall. Right, because I was like you, right? I didn't expect North Carolina to be competing for an ACC conference title appearance or anything.
I thought they'd be competent.
But
they
I
don't
thought
even look
they'd
competent.
go 6-6, 7-5, something like that. Because
What
again,
are they, 2-4 right now?
They're 2-3.
2-3.
I was about to say,
they've been out.
Defensively, how are they not better? Like that was Bill Belichick's whole thing. I do wonder, honestly. I feel like the defense might be too complicated. Because you watch North Carolina play football, those guys do not – you go back to the Florida State-Alabama game and people were saying the linebackers didn't look like they knew what was going on. That's the North Carolina defense for 60 minutes every time they're on a football field.
So my question is, because isn't Steve Belichick, isn't he the technical defensive coordinator?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe so.
He did a decent job at Washington. Maybe his dad's too involved.
Bring Matt Patricia in. That's the only thing that can turn this around.
Maybe it's the P-Town curse.
If you bring Tom, if for some reason, just a whole nother world, Tom Brady came in to play quarterback for you for the rest of the season, how many more wins based on what you've seen?
I think we all agreed that, defensively they can't stop anybody either.
I was about to say.
I don't think Tom Brady could save you is my point.
No, I don't. I don't think that he could either.
Yeah.
I didn't think that he would win championships, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt that
He knows
could
football.
he could get them to a bowl game.
I do think the pride angle was interesting that Scott kind of brought up at the end, right? Is it a situation where Belichick is just so stubborn that he won't even allow himself to accept this as a failure and move on? Because that's what's going to be best for the program, right? They need a clean slate. Now, they're going to be $10 million in the hole for that clean slate, but I could absolutely see him say, no, we're coming back next year. We're going to get this right. Not that we think it would be any better, but
I need to see this footage.
Oh, I know.
So Scott said $30 million are on the hook, right?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's tough.
I'm having second thoughts about letting him come to the conference now.
I think by the time that North Carolina may be crossing that bridge to go to the Big Ten or the SEC, I think Bill Belichick will be in P-Town. He'll be vacationing with Jordan.
Yeah. They're not going to get married, though. They're just having fun, according to people close to the family. They're just having fun, Pat.
Okay. Good deal. One of the storylines for the Alabama football team has been Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams had a pretty good day against Vanderbilt over the weekend. His drops continue to be something that a lot of people are concerned with. Well, Ryan Williams met with the media today down in Tuscaloosa after this morning's practice. Take a listen to what he had to say about what he's doing to fix the issues.
Really just continuing to, stay on the jugs machine, continue to do the extra stuff, catching rugby balls, tennis balls, just focusing in on the ball and not the next move, like I said, as, trying to be the receiver that I want to be. I have to catch the ball before I can do all the extra stuff.
Is it just a mental thing? Because, we just talked about how you were making these great catches. Like, is it purely mental in that sense?
1,000%, yeah.
There you go. 1,000% he says it is mental.
What else could it be?
Have you ever heard of that before? I had never heard about catching rugby balls or tennis balls.
I'd heard about tennis balls, not rugby balls.
I understand the tennis balls because you're trying your hand-eye coordination.
Man, you want to really dial it in? Catch marbles.
Golf balls. Yeah.
Marbles.
Oh, I thought you were going to say stuffed animals.
BBs. Hey,
Take it
BB.
easy.
Speaking of BB, she's right there.
There's BB.
Yeah. And our good friend PG. He's been under the weather.
He
dealing
showed
with
up
some
today.
health
Yeah.
issues, but PG is here, and that's always good to see.
Yeah. Another great crowd. We literally have only a couple seats remaining up here because it is National Taco Day.
It is National Taco Day. You could come into Social Taco, and it's the mix and match combination. So you say, well, I like that one, but ooh, that one looks good. You can mix them up. You can match them. Only $4 a piece, and they're not just your ordinary tacos, but also the Mexican pizzas. You want to go with the chicken feathers to get started. They got guacamole. You want to add some jalapeno bacon made in-house. You can do that as well. The quesadillas. Find it all there at socialtaco.bar. If you're checking out the menu, when you come inside of Social Taco right next to City Hall here in Homewood, come up the stairs. We're in the terrace, and you can meet some just vibrant, all walks of life. Doesn't matter who you pull for, folks, and just enjoy a good time. It's really cool to see. We got probably 8-9 new faces.
Yeah,
up here
today alone. Amazing how this thing continues to grow, and we appreciate the great Jocks listeners. So many people say, man, I'm gonna get by there and see y'all one Tuesday. It sounds like you guys have just a great time, and we do. We really do, and it's because the great listeners of this radio station throughout the state, because we've had people drive from Guin a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
Tuscaloosa.
We've had ladies that have
Childersburg.
Wetumpka.
Yeah.
All kinds of different parts of the state.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it. We're here every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, so come by and see us. 1-800-239-WJOX. That is the phone number. The Courtesy GMC text line, let's go to that. We have not had an opportunity to read your text because we've got a full bank of those, and each and every day it's brought to you by Courtesy GMC in Trussville.
Yeah, a lot of text, 205-834-9450, as Pat mentioned. Some of these, so we're catching you up on past conversations that have happened during the show, but this is the first time we've been able to get to the text line. When Mike Griffith was on, we were supposed to ask Mike why Mark Stoops has not been fired yet. I will answer that question, and that will be a considerable buyout. We're talking about money. That would be a lot of money to make him walk away.
And he said vehemently after the game against Georgia that he is not going anywhere.
All right, break out the schedules, Pat. This is a good question. Which school has the best resume? Texas, Penn State, or Auburn? What's Texas's best win?
I would have to say it's Auburn because they beat Baylor.
Yeah, I mean, Texas's best win is, I don't know, like UTEP?
I was going to say
I don't know.
What is Penn State's best win?
Oh, you're going to make me look it up.
I'm going to guess it's on par with Texas's best
Was it a
win.
MAC team?
Let's see here. They beat Villanova 52-6. They beat FIU 34-0.
They beat Nevada.
Yeah.
That's something, right?
Sure.
Yeah, 46-11.
All right.
So I guess it's Nevada for them.
Yeah, they beat Nevada, a basketball school, and Pitbull University. That's their resume right now.
Texas beat Sam Houston. They beat UTEP by 17. They beat San Jose State by 31.
But I think Sam Houston's still winless.
I would say UTEP.
So yeah, it's Auburn by a landslide, honestly.
Yeah, it's Auburn.
Okay. Our friend Cliff Hembry, he was asking earlier, the referee crew
Yes.
in the controversial Auburn, Oklahoma. You said they were back at work this past weekend.
Absolutely.
And
They
that was
sure
in
were.
Athens?
They were in Athens for the Kentucky-Georgia game.
They will not be in Auburn this weekend.
Jeff Heiser. That is the name of the White Cap. He is from Atlanta, Georgia. So I guess he had that short drive from his front porch in Atlanta, Georgia to Athens because he worked the game this weekend with Georgia and Kentucky.
If Bill Belichick's girlfriend would stay off the sidelines and stay up in the press box, that would be best. But that might be the only draw to tune in to a North Carolina game right now, to see if you see her asking
For money.
for concession stand money. Young Bull, the early start time in Como for Alabama this weekend against Missouri. Bama practices in the AM, so they should be ready as far as that goes.
I was about to say,
They
you're
also-
not changing time zones or anything, so
Yeah,
that
the
shouldn't be a
whole-
big issue.
School of thought is you wanted that early game if you were on the road. Less time hanging around, sitting around the hotel room.
But
Fly in. A lot of teams fly in the day before. You go through your walkthrough. You have your meetings. You get up. You have your breakfast. More walkthroughs and meetings. You go to the stadium and play football.
But historically speaking, and I guess we just think about the old dirty windshield game on Jefferson Pilot.
Yes.
That was the game if you ever expected a potential upset. And I'm not saying that Missouri beating Alabama would be, I guess, technically would be an upset from a Vegas perspective, but I think everybody understands that this is a very good Missouri football team. Just like last week, if Vanderbilt would have found a way to beat Alabama, I don't think anybody would have been going, man, you unlike last year when you lost to Vanderbilt. This is a good Vanderbilt team.
Xavier Chaplin, it was revealed to us by Hugh Freeze at his press conference that the Auburn tackle, who's been guilty of 5 false start penalties, is having trouble with his hearing. Had some hearing tests done, so they're going to try to get that fixed, I should say. Posey asked him, they not give these guys physicals to check hearing, eyes, etc. I thought that they did.
I did too.
Well, and
Maybe
if he has a serious issue, because it sounds like he really does have a hearing issue, right? You hope that gets resolved. But I'm sorry, like the first thing I thought of when I heard that is, you go back 5 or 6 years ago, you remember Jameis Winston threw 30 interceptions that year for Tampa Bay, and then he went and had LASIK eye surgery. And it's like, did you not know you had bad eyes before this? Like, did you have to throw 30 interceptions to realize that you had an issue?
Love you, Landrum. Yet again. You've seen me around UAB stuff.
Yep.
You know
I'm on the air right now.
I worked it. They're working.
Let me talk to you in the break.
Well, I've got to go back to work.
All right. Well, I'm working right now. Thank you.
Y'all have a good night.
Will. Seriously. That was not one of our guests. Will says, if Mike Griffith has 0 haters, then I am dead and gone.
I feel like our audience has come around to appreciate Mike more now.
It's a slap in the face to Auburn fans that they chose money over the fans, so much for us being the Auburn family. Another one, NIL is absolutely ruining college football. Wouldn't Auburn, interesting way to spell it, I think that was intentional, make more money for its own NIL with it at Jordan-Hare? Apparently not.
I think when someone is willing to potentially pay $4 to $5 million in NIL payments, it goes without saying they'll take that check.
I love the new UFL names, Nick from Prattville says, but I can't be the only one who thinks that Kings is such a generic name for Louisville. I wasn't crazy about it either. I had to ask Pat what it was paying
My
tribute
guess,
to.
yeah, my guess was because horse racing is the sport of kings.
Well, what they did is they went, oh, we'll just be the Stallions. And they went, no, we can't do that one. All right, Kings. That was their backup plan.
Well, maybe they were going to move the Stallions to Louisville before the uproar and
Maybe
the city
so.
of Birmingham came together and said, nope, we're going to keep them here. So
It could have been the Louisville Ponies. Guess that doesn't have the same ring to it, though.
hey, we got a trade in the NFL. Did you see this?
What?
Just happened. Big time. The Browns are trading Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals.
I guess they had seen enough of Browning over the weekend.
Yes, Shadur is quarterback 2 in Cleveland now.
They're cleaning it. They're getting it set up.
Yes. Set the table for Shadur.
That's right. That's exactly what they did.
This is why you turn down the Ravens. This right here.
Jason, listing on the ump in Huntsville, I completely blame Sark for not only the way Texas has been playing this year, but for the undeveloped tendencies that Arch has. He should have advised Ewers to hit the transfer portal, and if Arch was really the future of Texas football, should have taken the lumps last year. They will take on Oklahoma. Speaking of Oklahoma, John Mateer pushing to play after the hand surgery. I'm guessing that will probably be a game-time decision. But if Michael Hawkins is the quarterback, this listener says, the play is the under lock. I was looking at the total. 42.5 is our total on Texas and OU for this weekend.
See, I felt the same way about the Florida game, though, too, right?
I know.
You thought the under was going to be a guarantee, and then Dallas Wilson happened.
Would interest me better if the Stallions played on a Tuesday night during the actual football season instead of playing during a non-football season? I don't think so.
You don't want to mess with the MAC.
Well, it's not even that. I'm just thinking about people here locally and their schedules during the week. And
No, you've got junior high
you got
football,
junior high,
volleyball.
you got practice,
cheer.
you're hauling kids here, there. I don't know if that makes things any better. Plus, I think a lot of people would say, well, we're going to the game this weekend. Or we're going to be out on Friday night at the high school game. No, not a bad idea. I would not be opposed to a Tuesday night game during the during the spring season. A lot of really good text. Mike says he thinks Shadur deserves at least a shot. He can't be that much worse than Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel didn't look terrible on Sunday for a first start.
How about this? Collins from Pell City. Pat, could the Kings be a reference to King Louis of France?
Oh, it's because that's the name of the city after him, right? I guess.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That's very good.
Well, now I kind of like the name. All right, we'll continue. Keep the text rolling in. We're reading them, cleaning up the ones that we need to. We are going to be talking with Matt Baker, more college football discussion, more of your texts, more of your phone calls. We continue live from Social Taco here in Homewood on your home for college football. Jocks.
It is 12:25 coming up, and about 10 minutes from now, we'll talk to Matt Baker, outstanding columnist from The Athletic. We'll talk to him about the Miami Hurricanes, the surging Hurricanes. A big win over the weekend against the Florida State Seminoles is now, depending on what poll you're looking at, they're number 2 or number 3 in America. They are surging, and we'll talk to Matt about the possibility of them not only winning the ACC, but maybe a potential national championship.
Well, beginning tomorrow and throughout Monday night, the Finnick is your place for live entertainment, whether it's acoustic music, 5:30 to 8 Wednesday through Friday, or Friday nights when they got bands, live bands that are kicking off at 10 o'clock from the award-winning menu. That leads you up to Saturday, and you have all the college football. They'll have some Major League Baseball playoffs on as well, but a lot of college football. You want to get in there early for Alabama, Missouri. You can certainly do that. If you're not making it down to Lee County for Auburn and Georgia, certainly settle in for that. The video screens, the video boards, just the atmosphere is second to none. State-of-the-art audio, and they actually turn up the games like Alabama, Missouri. You're going to be able to hear the broadcast on that state-of-the-art sound system so you can follow every second of the action. It's the Finnick, located 1630 2nd Avenue South, open beginning tomorrow afternoon all the way through Monday Night Football. That is your place this college football and NFL season. The Finnick, 1630 2nd Avenue South, near Railroad Park.
So earlier this morning, the United Football League, they have announced the locations and the nicknames of the 3 new teams that are joining the UFL. The Stallions, obviously, not going anywhere. They're back. The Arlington Renegades are now the Dallas Renegades. So they're going to play in a different stadium, the Toyota Stadium there in Dallas. The DC Defenders, they're back. St. Louis Battlehawks, they're back. So the Houston team, instead of the Roughnecks, they are now the Gamblers. What I find interesting is the Roughnecks had basically a rip-off logo of the old Houston Oilers.
Yeah.
And I think there was maybe a trademark lawsuit against the UFL. And they have decided to go back to the old USFL name of the Gamblers. Louisville now has a team, and just like one of our text messengers had texted in, the city of Louisville was obviously named after, was it King Louis the 14th? I'm not sure. One of the Louis from France.
16th?
Is it 16th? Okay.
XVI?
Yeah, that's 16. The Louisville Kings, their colors will be, it looks like black, and what kind of green would you say that is?
Okay, that is think of, it's kind of an Oregon high-vis green?
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Okay.
The Columbus Aviators.
Let me see the Aviators logo. Okay.
Now, I've already noticed something, which I've not read about it, but do you see the C and the A?
You're so good at that. I do now.
Yeah.
The picture in the picture.
Yeah.
The hidden message.
Yep. So it will be the Birmingham Stallions.
Well, there's Urban Meyer.
The Columbus Aviators, Dallas Renegades, Houston Gamblers, Louisville Kings, DC Defenders, Orlando Storm. They will play in the soccer stadium there in Orlando.
It's
and
a lightning
St. Louis
bolt.
Battlehawks.
Is that a lightning bolt?
Looks like a lightning bolt and maybe even like a hurricane type of logo.
Gamblers, I don't mind the block G.
That's not the same G they used to have in the old USFL. It's a little different.
But over the outline of the state of Texas, black, red, yellow, a really bright yellow is your colors. No,
Yep.
that looks good.
Looks real good. Another thing that looks real good is Courtesy GMC and Truss. When you get by and see them off of I-459 exit 32, Josh Gargis, Drew Lally, Tommy Rowan, the whole team, they're ready to serve you. And 9 acres of inventory on the brand new 2025s. Best deals not only you're going to find in central Alabama and metro Birmingham, but across the southeast. There are stories of people driving from Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, people from Mobile driving up to get the best deals on a GMC. It's going to be right here in Metro Birmingham in Trussville. It's just a short drive right off of I-459, and every brand new GMC that is sold comes with the 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Visit their website, courtesybirmingham.com. New deals pop up daily. Truckloads of new shipments of Yukons, Yukon XLs arrive every other day. So you need to get by and see those fine folks there at Courtesy GMC in Trussville. That is off of I-459, exit 32. When we come back on Three-Man Front, we'll talk to Matt Baker.
The touchdown maker.
That's right. We'll talk to him about the Miami Hurricanes and the ACC. That's next here on Three-Man Front. Welcome back in. This is Three-Man Front on Jocks. Pat Landrum, we're live at Social Taco. Molly Conrad back in our studios high atop Red Mountain. And one thing's for sure, the Miami Hurricanes, they're for real. And if you had any doubts about the Hurricanes, what they did in Tallahassee over the weekend, very impressive as Miami continues to roll. And joining us from The Athletic, Matt Baker, covers college football, joins us now on Three-Man Front. Matt, I hope you're doing well.
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. So let's talk about the Hurricanes. Mario Cristobal's first ever victory on the road against a ranked opponent. Well, that's pretty tough to say since he's been there in Coral Gables. But, man, what a performance on Saturday night.
Yeah, no question. Miami, look, I get these kind of concerns about Miami, the questions about Miami, because we've seen this before, right? I've been covering college football full time in Florida since 2015, and now nationally. We've seen all these false starts, right? In 2013, Miami was undefeated heading into the Florida State game, and they kind of cratered. 2017, the turnover chain was all hot and everything, and then they cratered. Last year, even, right? They looked like a college football playoff contender, and then they cratered. This Miami team, to me, looks and feels different. The Lions are better than they have been. Carson Beck is, at minimum, a good quarterback, and certainly serviceable. Well beyond that, the running game is really good. The receivers are talented. I don't see a lot of weaknesses, if any, on this team. So I'm absolutely buying Miami right now, where it just feels different. The issues where they were good but not great in the past, those seem resolved. And the other part of this is just, you mentioned Mario and his record in terms of just beating good teams and honestly just not messing up. We all remember Georgia Tech and not kneeling the ball a couple of years ago. Mario, to me, seems like he has evolved as a coach, as a game manager, all of that. So I understand there's going to be some skepticism and some questions, and as this goes forward, because we've seen this movie before. But I really think this one has a chance to end differently.
Matt, would you say that Carson Beck, transferring from Georgia, now the starter at Miami, have Miami fans gotten what they expected for the amount of what they paid to get him, or has Carson Beck exceeded expectations to this point?
Well, you mentioned the money, and that's fair. And we don't have their contract, right? I certainly have an idea of what he's making. But unless you actually know all the ins and outs, I don't want to get too far into that in terms of whether he's living up to it. But here's what I will say. Miami is one of the top couple teams in the country, right? They just beat I still think Florida State's a good team. Not a great team, but a good or at minimum respectable team. Miami dominated them for 3+ quarters. I know what the final score was, but the game was not as close as the score indicated, right? And Carson Beck had a notable hand in it. Obviously, they beat Notre Dame earlier this year, right? So, there's still some tests down the road, and if Miami's going to win the ACC for the first time ever and make the playoff and maybe make some noise in the playoff, we haven't seen the last or the best of Carson Beck yet, right? But as we sit here today, where Miami is and where I think they're going, it's been a success. It's absolutely been a success.
So historically speaking, there's always been something. Let's go back last year with Cam Ward as the quarterback. They go to Atlanta and they lose to Georgia Tech, and obviously Syracuse. Just the list goes on and on over the last few years. But when you look at their schedule now, where do you see a potential pitfall for them, if any?
That's a really good question. The one that I kind of had circled earlier, maybe a month or two ago, is actually the next one. Home against Louisville on a Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
Friday night, weeknights, weird things happen, right? They just do. Honestly, Florida State losing to Virginia a week and a half ago on a Friday night, that's part of it. However, this one's at home. I think I think Hard Rock Stadium will be rocking. Louisville, maybe not quite as good as we thought after they lost to Virginia the other day. At SMU on November 1st could be tricky, right? SMU is pretty good. They're not as good as last year, but they're good enough and dangerous enough to get you. Honestly, you look at the end in Pitt. I say that because Pat Narduzzi is a good coach. He is always able to figure something out, and I think usually has his team punching above its weight. And then I go back in my head to 2017 when Miami was number 2 in the country heading into the regular season finale, undefeated against Pitt, and they lose. And then they got their butts kicked by Clemson in the ACC championship, and suddenly it was another kind of fool's gold Canes team. So those are the potential hang-ups that I see. But honestly, from what I have seen through the first month or so of this season, and certainly what I saw in person the other night in Tallahassee, I think Miami's good enough to run the table here. I think they're good enough to beat SMU and Louisville and avoid some of the mistakes and false starts that they've had in the past.
Could potentially a Brent Key Georgia Tech team be that thorn if it ever comes down to that in a matchup in the postseason?
Yeah, certainly for the ACC championship. Yeah, I don't think that's crazy. Georgia Tech is good. Brent Keys, they're not the sexiest program or anything like that, but they just get it done where they're not scared of anybody. They will play up to the level of their competition. Haynes King is a good quarterback. Good might be underselling it. We've done our Heisman straw polls at The Athletic, and he's somebody that I've thought about putting in there. No doubt about it. So, yeah, absolutely. That would seem to be – I think that's the likeliest matchup for the ACC championship. And the Yellow Jackets could absolutely scare the crap out of mine. No doubt in my mind about that.
Matt Baker's joining us for a few more minutes from The Athletic talking college football. He was in Tallahassee over the weekend watching Miami and the Seminoles. Let's talk about a team right down the road from Tallahassee, and that is the Florida Gators. Everyone believed that it was going to be, a Texas win, which means Billy Napier's one day closer to being exited as the head coach of the Florida Gators. What are you hearing? Has that saved his job, or does he have to go on some kind of magical run like he did last year?
I think it quieted things for a little bit, but they still got Texas A&M this weekend, right? At College Station. They got Mississippi State after that in the Swamp. Mississippi State's pretty good. You look at the rest, they've got Georgia. Kentucky's not good, but they do have at Ole Miss. They've got Tennessee. They've got Florida State. So you're looking at a situation where, yes, they beat a team that was ranked in the top 10. I think a lot of people I'm raising my hand here. You can't see me, but I'm raising my hand. I think a lot of us overvalue Texas clearly at the start of the year. Arch Manning has been not good at all. So I don't want to take away from Florida's win there, but I also do think we were too high on Texas. But there's still a bunch of potential hangups here. Tennessee, Georgia, A&M, Florida State wouldn't shock me at all. So it changed things in that for this week, the Gators can feel very good about themselves. But in terms of the long-term stuff, look, if Billy loses to A&M on Saturday, which is certainly possible, the Aggies are good, then we're still going to have the same conversation in a couple of days, right? That's just the way it is. Same thing with Georgia, same thing with Tennessee, same thing with Ole Miss. So to me, in my mind, nothing really changed with the big picture other than it was a 1 week reprieve from the when's he going to get fired conversation.
And if he does, Matt, who is the person in Gainesville that's making that decision? It's not Scott Strickland, is it?
It is, unless something has changed or is going to change. I mean, it's still an interim president. It is a different interim president than it was a year ago, believe it or not, because I don't want to get in the weeds on this, but Florida had a president they were going to name, or they announced this is our guy. The state board that oversees higher education, the state of Florida, said, nope, rejected, try again. So there's still some kind of Strickland's boss. That whole thing is still up in the air. However, Scott Strickland, the AD, did get a contract extension that's more or less a lifetime deal within the last couple months. So unless something crazy happens, he's the guy. So he would be the one making the decision in terms of do we keep him, do we get rid of him, and then if they get rid of him, who do we bring in? Those are Strickland's decisions to make.
All right, since we're on the topic of the merry-go-round that is the coaching carousel, let me ask you about James Franklin. I know Penn State is going to owe him a lot of money if they decide to move on from him, but what are you hearing in the college football world right now? I mean, is there a legitimate possibility that James Franklin would be bought out and shown the door this season?
I don't see how you could. Everybody in college football and college sports is complaining that there's no money. So then you're going to pay, call it $50 million, $40 million, whatever it is, some monopoly money figure because he goes 8-4 this year. I don't see how that's sustainable. I don't see how you can do that. I think the more likely scenario here, if we're talking about what's a Penn State James Franklin end game, what if at the end of the season, both of them will look and say, you know what? This isn't working. We've hit a ceiling here with, James has hit one with us. We've hit one with James. This isn't working. So maybe it's a situation of, is there a job that James Franklin could jump to that would make sense, that would let him restart? Because look, after a certain point, he's not going to make any more friends at Penn State, right? That's something I've heard coaches say over the years. After a certain point, you're only going to make more enemies. You can't win more people over. So maybe they've reached that with James Franklin at Penn State. Maybe he realizes, you know what? I just need a fresh start. And Penn State might realize the same thing, in which case, what's a way where everybody could save face here? He could go to a different school, a good program with a chance to kind of restart, and Penn State could do the same. That's a mutual understanding there, a mutual agreement is the most likely scenario rather than Penn State spending a gazillion dollars to fire him and then everything else that goes with that.
All right, Matt, big question before we let you leave. We're almost to the midway point of the season. You have to make a bet right now on a future wager, college football national championship. You can bet a team from the SEC or the rest of the field. Where are you going?
SEC or the field? I'm taking the field. I think Oregon's really good. I think Miami's really good. I think Ohio State's really good. I'm taking one of those if I had to. Yes, maybe Georgia, maybe Alabama, right? Like, I don't have a good enough read on Texas A&M yet. I think they're good. I don't know if they're great. I'm not saying they're not. That's just a question mark in my head still. But yeah, I'll take the field over the SEC at this point for sure.
Well, Matt, you did not get the script that I texted you.
It's supposed to be SEC, Matt. Come on.
It's supposed to be SEC.
Sorry, I call it like I see it. And right now, I mean, the SEC has a bunch of good teams. I don't know that it has a great team. And certainly in college football right now, there's not a lot of great teams. But I feel a little bit better about the other ones I mentioned than anybody in the SEC right now at this time on October 7th.
That's fair. That's fair. We won't forget it, though. Okay. Matt Baker, National College Sports Reporter at The Athletic. You can follow him at Matt Baker, CFB. Matt, we always appreciate the time, my friend. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Matt Baker joining us, as all of our guests do, on the Higginbotham Hotline.
For more than 4 decades, Alabama Professional Services, they have been your trusted choice for pest control, termite protection, lawn care, fertilization, and more. The certified statewide teams at APS, their experts are friendly, efficient, and reliable. Call them today, 205-951-9717. Whether you're looking for a safeguard for your home from pests or keep your lawn healthy and green, APS delivers proven solutions backed by dependable customer service. APS proudly serves homeowners and businesses across Alabama, including Birmingham, Montgomery, Huntsville, and surrounding communities. Call today to request a free, no-obligation estimate, 205-951-9717, or go to their website, alabamaprofessional.com.
We are about 13 minutes away from our buddy Dimitri Ravanos in the college football bubble bath. You don't want to miss that. We are live here at Social Taco. We still got folks that are ordering food, just rolling into the Taco Terrace. I think Matthew over there in the corner, look at him, Pat. I think he's taking a nap.
He's enjoying himself.
Yep. The AC is on, so come and enjoy. And you can sit on one of these lovely wraparound couches, and after you finish, you can sit there and chew the fat like some of our great listeners, or you can take a nap like Matthew appears to be doing. We will continue live from Social Taco here in Homewood on Jocks.
It is 12:51. Appreciate Matt Baker joining the program. If you missed any of our interviews today, Brian Crichton, the president of the Talladega Super Speedway, he joined the show in hour number 1. Mike Griffith in hour number 2. Change of schedule a little bit in Athens this week, getting ready for Auburn. Scott Hamilton from the Charleston Post-Courier. We just heard from Matt Baker from The Athletic, and Dimitri Ravanos will join the program in just a couple minutes from SEC Unfiltered.
Well, we have a fantastic opportunity for you if you're an Alabama fan or just a college football fan in general, really. And courtesy of us here at Jocks and our friends at Total Sports Travel, we are giving you the opportunity to go see Alabama take on South Carolina in Columbia later this month. So one lucky winner is going to score a trip for 2. That's going to include round-trip airfare, a 2-night stay at the Ryder Hotel in Charleston, 2 tickets to the game between Alabama and South Carolina, and transportation to and from the stadium. All you have to do to enter for a chance to win this great package, you're going to text in the keyword TIDE, T-I-D-E, to 205-834-9450. Again, text the keyword TIDE, like Crimson Tide, T-I-D-E, to 205-834-9450. So don't miss your shot at the ultimate game day experience, courtesy of our friends at Total Sports Travel and your home for college football, Jocks.
So over the weekend, the Colorado Buffaloes lost again, and Deion Sanders met with the media, and he had this to say in regards to some ongoing health problems that he's experiencing.
I'm hurting like crazy. I think I got more blood clots. Cat's out the bag, all right? I think I got more blood clots, man. It don't make sense. I'm hurting like crazy. I got the doctor's appointment Monday to see what time it is. So that's what's going on. I'm not getting blood to my leg. That's why my leg is throbbing. I'm sorry to get that out, but thank you for noticing.
God, I hate it for him, man.
Yeah, that was Deion Sanders on Saturday. He mentioned that he had a doctor's appointment on Monday, which he went to, and this morning during his weekly press conference, he revealed that he is going to have a procedure that is going to last 4 hours to relieve him of those blood clots in his legs. He is hoping that he will be back at practice sometime tomorrow. So I'm not familiar with that type of process or the procedure, but he says it will last 4 hours, and he expects to miss any practice time or very little.
I know, and I'm not pretending to be a doctor. I'm sure this has been addressed by his great medical team. But how much does altitude affect his condition specifically?
It's a good question.
Because I know it affects blood pressure. It can affect blood clots. But for him in particular, I just hate it for him because you can tell he's in pain. He's miserable.
Yeah, if you did not see the clip on Saturday, several times throughout Saturday's game, he walked with a limp on the sideline, and he also had his left shoe off. Sanders added at his press conference that he had that appointment yesterday, and they did confirm that he had blood clots in his leg. He is someone that has battled a lot of health ailments. Back in 2021, when he was coaching Jackson State, he was forced to have 2 of his toes amputated because of the same ailment in his leg. And needless to say, he had the bladder issue that he had to deal with. So thoughts are with Deion Sanders as he continues to battle to be on the sideline for the Buffaloes.
Praying for you, Coach. We'll continue. Dimitri Ravanos, college football bubble bath, and more. Also, we got a text. I want to start a contest on air. Give Caden Proctor of Alabama a nickname now that he's a wide receiver / offensive tackle. We'll stew on that. You do as well. We're live from Social Taco. Hour number 4 on National Taco Day next.